tempomusiccards.com. This is the first part of a two-part lesson. In this part, we'll look at a very simple way to practice open chords. Before you begin, it's essential that you look at the lesson that focuses on a single chord. Once you can play the chord from that lesson easily, you can try this one. We'll be using the Essential Chords pack, but even if you don't have it, this lesson will still help you by explaining the method that we use. Okay, let's get started. Start out by taking the card titled How to Read Chord Diagrams and sit it in front of you. This will be your quick reference just in case you forget how to read the diagrams. There's 50 chords in the pack, which is a lot to learn, so don't get overwhelmed thinking that you won't be able to learn them all, because you can. What we can do to start out is focus on a small number of simple chords. It's amazing how much you can memorize when you break a large number down into small bite-sized pieces. Pick up your pack and take out all the basic major and minor chords, such as E minor, A minor, G major, and so on. These are the cards that have the words major or minor in capitals after the chord letter. As these chords are the most commonly played on guitar, they're a great starting point. You should have 13 cards now, all basic major and minor. You can put all the other cards back in the box for later on. Out of these 13 cards, take out F major and F minor, as well as B major and B minor. These 4 chords are slightly harder, so you can leave them for later on. You'll now have 9 basic chords to work through. Much easier. The idea with this method is to take the easiest 2 chords out of the 9 and practice strumming back and forth between them. Once you can do that with ease, you pick another 2, and so on until you master all the chords. The first 2 chords we'll practice is E minor, which you would have learnt from the other lesson, and A minor. So take those 2 cards out and lay them in front of you for reference. We'll use a few different exercises to build up your skill. Exercise 1 is very simple. We don't worry about rhythm or anything else but playing the chord properly. Start by playing the first chord, E minor, and if you play that perfectly, move on to the second chord, A minor. To show you, I start by placing my hand in E minor and strum it once. And if it sounds good, I go on by placing my hand in A minor and I strum that once. If that sounds good, I go back to E minor and continue alternating between the 2. This exercise is just to get you used to changing your hand back and forth between the chords. Don't try and force yourself to play faster, as it will happen naturally after a while. The most important point is that the chords are played perfectly every time. Exercise 2 is almost the same as exercise 1. The difference is that instead of strumming each chord once, you now strum it twice. Only move on to this exercise after you've mastered exercise 1. It may be a good idea to pause the video now and play through exercise 1 a couple more times. What we are trying to do in this exercise is reduce the amount of time it takes to change your hand between the chords. But don't play it faster. This exercise should be played very slow. This is how it's played. Notice that I was playing very slow and that every chord was evenly spaced. In other words, there wasn't a massive gap from when I had to change my hand between the chords. The focus of this exercise is to space every strum evenly. In exercise 3, we will count each chord out loud while playing. This will be tricky for most people because you've got to concentrate on a couple things at once. Counting out loud while playing will build up your sense of rhythm. We will strum each chord 4 times while counting each one like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that every number was spaced evenly, especially between 4 and 1. Every guitarist needs to be able to do this, so make it a priority to master this exercise. If you have trouble spacing the numbers evenly, slow everything down to give yourself more time. Before you move on to the next part, you need to be able to play exercises 1, 2, and 3 perfectly. Just keep working at it, take your time, and try not to force yourself or rush. As soon as you rush, it creates bad habits and sloppy playing. Make sure that every chord sounds perfect. After you feel comfortable playing E minor and A minor, pick another 2 cards out of the 9 and go through the exercises again. The next part will teach you how to play along with drum beats. So keep practicing, and I'll see you next time.